So they see Jesus, because verse 2 says, and both the Pharisees and the scribes were just also, they were, religious leaders began to complain, saying, this man, this guy, receives sinners and eats with them. What does that even mean? To receive a sinner and to eat with them. Back in this culture, to sit down and eat with someone was symbolic, and it was cultural, to represent equality, to represent acceptance, to represent friendship, to represent togetherness, to represent community. We don't sit down. How many times have you ever sat down with somebody you don't know and just pulled up next to them and sat with them and ate with them? You don't know these people. You only sit down with people you're probably getting to meet. It's a business meeting. It's somebody that is important to you. It's a family member, right? Back in this era, back in this time, to sit down and eat with someone, it meant we're in relationship. We're in friendship. And for Jesus to be sitting down with tax collectors and sinners, you got these religious folks saying, yo, what are you doing, bro? You're not supposed to sit with these folks. You're not supposed to talk to these people. You're not supposed to do business with these people. You're not supposed to do anything with these tax collectors and sinners. This is what the verse 2 says. It says, and both these Pharisees and scribes began to complain, saying, this man receives them and eats with them. And so, verse 3, and so Jesus told them this parable. What's a parable? A parable is a form of a story. It's a story that, and let me see if I don't try to complicate this. Let me say this. It's an earthly story with a heavenly meaning. It's telling a story of something you know of to try to reveal something that you're not aware of. That's why this Jesus is telling a parable. Why would Jesus talk in a parable? I think it's bigger than this conversation right now as to why, but I'll try to say this because from my study, Jesus was speaking to sometimes reveal certain truths. So this is why he just didn't speak it in plain language. He wanted to reveal something to them. Sometimes he literally wanted to conceal things from people. Because then you'll see other parts in the Bible where they will say he had to go and explain to his disciples what the parable meant. Because they're confused, like, wait, what did you mean by that? What are you saying by that? And then he'd go and explain it. And he wouldn't explain it into the crowds. He would explain it in private, but he told the parable in the crowd. So it's a style of communication that you see Jesus explaining in a parable. He responds to the critique that I'm hanging out with a bunch of sinners, so let me tell you a story. And his story is this. And so he told them this parable, saying, verse number 4, what person among you, if he has 100 sheep and lost one, does he not leave the other 99 in the open pasture and go after the one that is lost until he finds it? Let me break verse 4 down for you real quick. You got 100 sheep, okay? You're a shepherd. You got 99 and one wanders away. Would you not leave your 99 and go to the one? I don't know about you, but I'd be like, I don't know if I'm going to leave my 99. I got 99. The dumb one left. That's not my problem, bro. I'm good. I got my 99. I got to take care of the flock, okay? But here's the thing. In this era, in this time, it was common, if not expected, for shepherds to be in groups of people. Not just one, but it's like, hey, there's a couple of us, so check this out. Work as a team. You take care of the 99. Hold that down, because we count 99. One is missing. I got to go find it. One of us got to go find it. And the fact that the scripture says, does he not leave the 99 into the open pasture? What this is telling us is that this is daytime. They realize one is missing during the daytime. Okay? So, and goes after the one that is lost until he finds it. It's lost. It's not like it's right there. Get over here. Let me go grab it real quick and pull up and show up and just, walk it back over. No, it's lost. It's missing. We got to go find it. Somebody's got to go find it. I'm going to go. You hold it down. I go watch and I go look and I go find it. Okay? Verse 5. But when he's found it, he puts it on his shoulders rejoicing. Why would you put the sheep on your shoulder? Why you went to look for it. It took maybe some time. You found it. Why don't you just drag it back over? Hey, let's go. I found you. Come here, little sheep. Let me guide you. Come with me. Why is it on the shoulders? Because the implication is that the sheep has been exhausted and is lost and is burdened and it's already done. And sheep life, they're so simple that if they fall over in exhaustion, they don't get up. I be having some sheep moments in my life, I'm telling you right now, man. The sheep, clearly, the scripture is telling us, Jesus is telling this story, that when he found the sheep, he picks up the sheep. He doesn't kick the sheep to get up. Let's go, drag it. The shepherd will find it, pick it up, and when they pick it up, they put it over their shoulders to carry it. Now, I don't know if you've ever held the sheep before. I haven't. But the fact that it says it put it on the shoulders is indication that the thing weighed significant. Google how much sheep weigh, and they're between anywhere from 115 pounds to 250 pounds. I was at my daughter's game on Friday. She was playing soccer, and one of my nieces came. She's about this tall. I put her on my shoulders. I know she don't weigh more than 100 pounds. I know she wears maybe about 80 pounds, because April weighs about 60 pounds. So I was like, yeah, and it's like this little indoor thing where they can't really see. So she's like, Uncle Ben, can I put me on your shoulders? And I'm like, of course, let's do this. She gets on my shoulder, and I'm like, 10 minutes later, I'm like, yo, when is this game over, man? Because this kid, I can't do this for long. The sheep that was found was grabbed and put on their shoulders that probably weighed over 100 pounds. And the scripture tells us, when he finds it, he puts it on his shoulders, rejoicing. Listen, if I'm going to put this sheep on my shoulders, I'm going to be pissed off. I'm like, you dumb sheep. Look what I got to do now. You're heavy. I'm complaining. I'm mad. This parable is telling us the shepherd grabs the sheep, puts it on his shoulders, rejoice. I'm happy. Rejoice is joy. It's happiness. It's a strong expression of happiness. That's what Jesus is saying when the shepherd's lost the one, puts the effort to find it, grabs the one, puts it on the shoulders, and goes. And then the scripture says, verse 6, and when he comes home, keep this in mind, the shepherd were together, 99, one has left. I'll meet you, I'll come back. If I have time, I will come back. Grabs the shepherd. It doesn't say he met the rest, he said he gets home. Here's another thing we should understand from this passage. It must mean that he was there for a while. He was there for hours. It probably went sundown. Finding this sheep, finally found it and takes it home. It took a while. And when he comes home, he calls together his friends and his neighbors. His friends and neighbors. You know the difference between a friend and a neighbor? A friend is we tight. A neighbor is, bro, I don't need to be tight with you. The celebration isn't just friends. He invites his friends and his neighbors. How many know of us that or how many of us know that sometimes we need to love thy neighbors and we don't want to love thy neighbor? We love our friends because we tight, we close, we bond, we see eye to eye, we respect each other, we love each other. But what about the neighbor that don't like you, don't respect you, don't appreciate you, talks bad about you, that doesn't have your back? He goes and celebrates and invites his friends and the neighbors. It's a big deal. Jesus is teaching us through this story something so profound, as we'll try to continue to break down.